Tucker Carlson repeatedly threats in text messages to his producer that Trump is a demonic force who could, quote, destroy him if Carlson missteps. He's the undisputed world champion of that. He could easily destroy us if we play it wrong. I knew it. I knew they were all scared of Trump. I knew it. You can just feel that in the way they talk about him. Even people who double-cross Trump because they're like, I want to get off this crazy ride, they still have to do it very nicely. It's like, he was kind of rude to me at a dinner event, so I'm not going to be supporting Trump in the future, probably DeSantis. I can't be like, he double-crossed me and is a huge scumbag, because no, he'll get you. This is one of those stories that if you really cared about the corruption and the collusion between corporations, media, and journalistic integrity, as your friends like Glenn Greenwald and Matt Taibbi certainly do, they've said it's kind of a centerpiece, their entire mythos, this should be the story of the century. Except it's on Fox, which means they're not talking about it. Which means they're probably not going to do much more than maybe a tweet or two, just to be able to refer to that tweet and be like, oh no, I talked about it. No, I have journalistic integrity. I'm not an opinion piece for a whole bunch of billionaires and the far right. That's not me. No, not at all. This filing in the Dominion lawsuit against Fox News is one of the most remarkable documents I've ever seen, filled with private texts between Fox stars like Hannity and Carlson, plus Murdoch, all admitting they knew Fox's stolen election claims were lies. The texts show Fox tapped into a dilemma of its own making, afraid to admit the election was honest because they'll lose viewers to Newsmax. Tucker rages and tries to get Fox reporter Jack Henrich fired after she admits the election wasn't stolen. How dare you? Meanwhile, later in the night on November 12th, Fingerham was still texting with Hannity and Carlson. In their group text thread, Carlson pointed to Hannity to a tweet by Fox reporter Jack Henrich. Henrich was in fact checking a tweet by the Trump that mentioned Dominion and specifically mentioned Hannity and Dobbs' broadcast that evening in Dominion. Henrich correctly fact-checked the tweet, pointing out the top election infrastructure official said that there is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or in any way was compromised. Carlson told Hannity, please, get her fired. Seriously, what the fuck? I'm actually shocked. It needs to stop immediately, like tonight. It's measurably hurting the company. The stock price is down, not a joke. Extension 320. Oh, example 230. At Flair. Tucker added, I just went crazy on Meade over it. Hannity said he'd already sent to Suzanne. Was it a really? He added, I'm 3 strikes. Wall a shit debate. Election night, a disaster. Now this BS? Nope, not gonna fly. Did I mention Cavuto? They text each other and talk exactly how I assumed they would. This is exactly what I assumed was going on behind the scenes, to be honest with you. Just a whole bunch of, like, man boys with, like, impotent rage. Hannity texted his team, I just dropped a bomb. Susan Scott received the message. She told Jay Wallace and Fox News SVP from Corporate Communications. Sean texted me. He's standing down on reporting or responding, sorry, but not happy about this and doesn't understand how is this allowed to happen from anyone in news. Heinrich, was serious nerve doing this, and if this gets picked up, viewers are going to be further disgusted. By the next morning, Heinrich deleted her fact-checking tweet. Here's Rupert Murdoch telling Fox News CEO Susan Scott to focus on winning the GA Senate race for Republicans, helping any way they can. Fair and or balanced, yes. Meanwhile, Fox continued to broadcast its lies about Dominion as a nervously eyed Newsmax. In a November 16 email, Rupert Murdoch told Scott to read a Wall Street Journal piece about Newsmax telling her these people should be watched, if skeptically. Trump will concede eventually, and we should concentrate on Georgia, helping any way we can. We don't want to antagonize Trump further, but Giuliani taken with a large grain of salt. Everything at stake here. The reason why this is all, obviously a bombshell is that, again, the Glenn Greenwalds of the world have been telling you for a long time that there's a bunch of collusion between political parties, say the Democrats, and media organizations and institutions. And I'm not saying that there isn't, but this idea where we should only hyper-focus on, hey, there's an instance here where it looks like the DNC was asking a corporation, Twitter, to give them some special treatment by not posting these Hunter Biden cock photos. And then Twitter was like, well, we could do 2 things at once. We don't have to do anything that they say in one way or another. We're a private corporation, but of course we're going to grant favors to powerful political lobbies and groups, and in this case, the DNC and the RNC asked for and got favors. But you only hear about the DNC from that side. It's just like they are 100% running cover for the right to the far right while saying, hey, by the way, can you believe that there's this whole problem of ethics in journalism colluding with political parties or corporations? And it's like, yeah, no, we know. Fox got into Dominion conspiracy theories in the first place because Sidney Powell got a deranged email from someone who thought she was a ghost, and Antonin Scalia was murdered in a most dangerous game-style human hunting expedition. Actually, was there ever evidence for these far-fetched claims that Powell sent Bartiromo the day before the broadcast an email entitled "Election Fraud Info" Powell had received from a source, which the author herself describes as pretty wackadoodle. This email, also received by Dobbs, alleged Dominion was one common thread in the voting irregularities in a number of states. In addition to promoting lies about Dominion, the senator claimed that Justice Scalia was purposely killed at the annual Bohemian Grove camp. Oh my God! During a week-long human hunting expedition. Oh my God! Again, the double standards on display. Can you imagine the field day if these stories involve people like Rachel Maddow? Can you imagine? And then Rachel Maddow suggested that one of these people was actually shot in the face at what was like some kind of secret ceremony with like cult-like renditions for the powers of Putin. And the former Fox News CEO Roger Ailes and Rupert Murdoch secretly huddle most days to determine how best to portray Mr. Trump as badly as possible. Example 154. The author continued, "Who am I? How do I know all of this? I've had the strangest dreams since I was a little girl. I was internally decapitated, and yet I live. The wind tells me I'm a ghost, but I don't believe it." The full force of email's lunacy comes across by reading in its entirety. What is going on? Fox, am I reading creepypastas right now? What are you doing? Okay, hold on. Tucker Carlson repeatedly frets in text messages to his producer that Trump is a demonic force who could, quote, destroy him if Carlson missteps. He's the undisputed world champion of that. He could easily destroy us if we play it wrong. I knew it. I knew they were all scared of Trump. I knew it. You can just feel that in the way they talk about him. Even people who double-cross Trump because they're like, I want to get off this crazy ride, they still have to do it very nicely. It's like, he was kind of rude to me at a dinner event, so I'm not going to be supporting Trump in the future, probably DeSantis. I can't be like, he double-crossed me and is a huge scumbag, because no, he'll get you. After January 6th, trying to thread the needle between the truth and pressure from his viewers and sponsors became even more difficult. Late on January 6th, Carlson texted with Pfeiffer that Trump is a demonic force, a destroyer, but he's not going to destroy us. On 26th, Carlson replied, "Of course they are. We're not going to follow them." And he added, "What Trump's good at is destroying things. He's the undisputed world champion of that. He could easily destroy us if we play it wrong." The Fox messages reveal Fox brass and top host tearing into Rudy Giuliani. Hannity, Rudy's an insane person. I love behind the scenes. They know. That's pretty funny. That, like, you know, when all the smoke and mirrors is gone, when we look behind the veil, they know. They're like, what is he doing? Yeah, he's on a live testimony right now, and it appears that he brought a woman who is not the woman he's claiming. She's actually an escort, and they both appear to be excessively inebriated. Yes, that's okay. That was my read when I was just seeing what was going on there, and I'm very, very frightened to find out I was correct. That is what is happening right now, right down there. Interesting. A fascinating detail about Fox's relationship with My Pillow tycoon Mike Lindell, that their most important advertiser after Lindell insulted Fox in a Newsmax appearance, Fox sent him a gift and a handwritten note from their CEO to win him back. Aww. Indeed, when Lindell made a negative comment about Fox on Newsmax, Fox's executives exchanged worried emails about alienating him and sent him a gift along with a handwritten note from Suzanne Scott. Fox had a strong motive to welcome him on air and avoid unpleasantness. Tucker Carlson emerges in the court filings as absolutely freaking out after the election, hearing from angry viewers and worrying that Fox calling Arizona for Biden will kill his golden goose, while also afraid a fucking bitch Sidney Powell has gone too far, and that's quote. Hannity told Carlson and Ingraham on November 12th, in 1 week and in one debate, they destroyed a brand that took 25 years to build, and the damage is incalculable. Tucker responded, it's vandalism. The hosts also discussed the possibility of competition to Fox emerging. Hannity told them serious money with serious distribution could be a real problem. In my opinion, they need to address this, but what the fuck do I know? Tucker, that could happen. Carlson told his producer, Alex Pfeiffer, that night, Sidney Powell is lying. Fucking bitch. Wow. Sean Hannity. Hannity confirmed that every day he and his team, quote, do a very deep analysis of ratings to see if their audience reaction to certain stories or guests. We took ratings every day. Hannity told Steve Doocy Fox had created a major backlash with the audience after the 2020 election, stating, "You don't piss off the base." This is wild because, like, this is showing what basic journalistic standards you have to have, or I guess journalistic standards and practices. And even then, even in this situation, it's like, behind the scenes, we probably shouldn't be doing this. Like, are we lying about whether or not this is a big deal? Are we lying about whether or not this is something that we should involve ourselves in? The network is being rejected. I've heard from angry viewers every hour of the day, all weekend, including at dinner tonight. Same. Never before has any of this happened. With some interesting details about Janine Pirro from Fox News Messages, a Fox executive sure felt like she was looking for a job competitor like Newsmax, and Fox canceled the November 7th show because they were afraid she'd push stolen election theories. She is, quote, crazy. We could get hurt. David Clark told Lauren Peterson and Jean Pirro that she was angling for a job somewhere else, 100%. Redacted. As Clark told Cooper, her guests are all going to say the election has been stolen. If she pushes back at all, she will just be the token. They took her off because she was being crazy. The optics are bad, but she is crazy. I mean, the optics are bad, but she's crazy. The Dominion filings over the best look inside Fox's internal operations that we've had in years, maybe ever. It shows Fox operating as many suspected. No compunction about lying to viewers and desperately tackling to avoid losing market share to competitors like Newsmax. So this is the biggest problem. It's probably redacted most likely because it could directly impact attorney-client privilege. I would assume that's probably the biggest reason why. But right here, you have a situation where Fox News behind the scenes does exactly everyone thought. They talk the way you think. They are all these power-hungry assholes who are more concerned with keeping ratings above all else, and also colluding directly with the GOP in every way, shape, or form. The exception that Fox fell under is that it's not factually correct to claim that Arizona wanted Trump, even though Trump really wants that. That's something that you can't just report on in such a way that it's going to there's nothing they could do outside of 100% lying and then redacting it, but it would be such a bad look for a corporate giant with the ratings that Fox has to be taken down by, again, Trump's own ego, because it's really Trump, another man baby who couldn't accept the outcome of the election and pushing all these conspiracy theories. And also Fox, corrupt as fuck across the board, every one of these things. 6 bombshell revelations from the trove of new evidence in Fox News defamation suit. Quote, the North Koreans do a more nuanced show than Lou Dobbs, said Fox News President Jay Wallace in the weeks after the 2020 election, according to a trove of private text, emails, and evidence revealed in a newly unsealed filing in the Dominion Voting System's $1.6 billion defamation suit against the cable news network. It is just one of the many batshit comments made by Fox News hosts and executives in private in the aftermath of the election, when then-President Donald Trump's false claims about the election was stolen and fueled uncontrolled misinformation about the air on Fox News in a major crisis behind the scenes. The revelation and their consequences are stunning. They support a core tenet of Dominion's argument against Fox News, namely that the network allowed conspiracy theories about the election to air despite knowing, in the words of the Fox Corporation chairman Rupert Murdoch, that those theories were, quote, crazy. They also demonstrate the gulf between what was said on air by Fox's top hosts and what they privately believed. While they allowed absurd claims about the election to air to millions of viewers unfettered, some of the hosts continued to push those claims today. In private, they described them as insane. Fox News issued a statement responding to the Dominion brief. The company will be able to respond in court later this month. Yeah, everyone kind of saw the writing on the wall. It was pretty obvious. It's yeah, no, he did not win the election. Just the math does not add up, and it doesn't add up in a lot of different places. And this whole conspiracy theory where it's it was the Dominion voting systems, they were made in Venezuela, and apparently this was the commies who were trying to take, yeah, no, a rational person can see all that and be no, this is QAnon tier. This is 100% fucking, their own words, wackadoodle. Yeah, it does not make any sense. If we push this, we will be pushing, again, QAnon tier conspiracy theories on a major news network, and then having to own that probably forever, depending on how far we go into this. So maybe we should try and tiptoe around this. Why don't we give a couple people who just can't resist, some time off, some vacations. A couple people can get replaced. We can have some guest hosts. What's Tulsi Gabbard up to? Tulsi Gabbard could probably sub in for some people, and Rupert Murdoch instructed the president of Fox News to help Trump any way we can. These people should be watched if skeptically. Trump will concede eventually. We should concentrate on Georgia, helping any way we can. We don't antagonize Trump further. Play it fast and loose, Tucker Carlson apparently had a group chat with fellow primetime stars Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham. You already said that. Ingram, sorry. And while Fox did not cut away this time, then White House correspondent Kristen Fisher did fact-check the claims made by Powell and Giuliani. Fox's executives were not pleased. Fisher received a call from her boss, Brian Broughton, immediately and after he emphasized that the higher-ups at Fox News were also unhappy with it and that Fisher needed to do a better job. This is, quote, respecting our audience. Wild stuff. Reban Fox News to furry news? Why? I mean, if you're a furry, wouldn't that piss you off? Wouldn't you not want to have all that kind of stuff happen? I would assume so.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.